Case study number 2 is a man we will call Jesus. He is in his early 40s, married with 2 children, and living near San Antonio, Texas. Jesus was supporting his family while going to law school. He was nearing completion of his law degree and working for a very prestigious and powerful law firm in 2001. The firm was treating him in a very reprehensible manner, and rather than be a passive victim, he filed a discrimination lawsuit. Almost immediately he began to experience microwave attacks in his home against himself, his wife, and his 2 children. The nature of the attacks was very vicious, particularly against his eyes and other parts of his anatomy. He documented the attacks with a Gauss meter, a signal strength meter, and other electronic equipment. The children were also viciously attacked in the same manner, crying in their beds when the signal would peak. When Jesus would work on his case or talk to people on the phone, the microwave attacks on his children and himself would commence in earnest in an effort to thwart his activities of fighting back against the firm. His wife became pregnant, and the attacks were also pointedly directed at her and her unborn child. Jesus has extensive documentation of these attacks, pictures with very blatant physical injuries, such as horribly bloodshot eyes. He has documentation of the attacks recorded on his electronic equipment while they are occurring. He has photographs of his infant child with horribly bloodshot eyes due to microwave assault, as well as recordings of his children crying in their beds while they are under the torture of an assault from a non-lethal microwave weapon. This rather pointed torture of his family seems designed to send a very specific message that he should drop his lawsuit in order to spare his family. He moved outside of his home to other locations in town to spare his wife and children the worst of the non-lethal attacks. When Jesus moved out, the attacks on his family diminished in their intensity, but they have never ended. His own physical mutilation continues wherever he tries to find refuge. The family has even fled to multiple locations in Mexico to stay with extended family. This has resulted, according to Jesus, in previously healthy elderly relatives very rapidly becoming weaker and weaker until they experience increasing morbidity and death. Jesus has appealed to every law enforcement official and elected representative he possibly can. He has gone on TV on the Power Hour to get greater exposure and possibly relief. To date, as far as the author knows, he is still under attack, as is his entire family. His body has become so sensitive to the intense microwave attacks that he is no longer able to stay on the computer or telephone for very long. This case has fewer risk factors than case number 1, Elizabeth, and as such is atypical, but not entirely unusual. It falls under the category of whistleblower, which may comprise as many as 5 to 10% of all cases of targeted individuals. Whistleblowers are often government employees who suspect criminal wrongdoing and try to bring such cases of corporate and government criminality to light, and are subsequently enrolled in the Monarch program.